Yes, we are live on the Dynasty Hotseat for the first time ever, actually. Coming to you like, you know what it is. It's a certified inferno. We got Paul back. We're having a little look about what happened in week 2. We're looking forward to week 3. Let's get going live. Can't wait. Ooh, yes. Paul, how you feeling about being live for the first time?
I'm very disappointed in you, Mags.
Why?
So one, you told me about 30 seconds before we did this show that we were going to go live, and two, I just air guitared my little heart out, and I looked at you, and you were doing something else,
Sorry,
nonchalant. Don't even say you're having troubles. I air guitared on my own. You let me down.
Sorry, mate. That's completely my fault. I'm trying to spread the word. You know, it's trickier when you're going live, so I have to get all these things out, you know, in time. But you know, I missed a real show. What I'll do one time is I'll pretend the video's playing, and actually it won't be. We'll just have you air guitar, right? on set. That'll be even better, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to go through the same sort of format as before. We're going to go through some news. We're going to go through a little bit of just a little bit of fun, Paul, really, like usual, right? So the news to start off with, not so fun. We have to start with probably the biggest news of the week. Nick Chubb with one of the most horrendous injuries that you'll be able to see, you know, since the last time he injured the same knee in college. Just heartbreaking for Nick Chubb when this is meant to be Nick Chubb's year, right? It's meant to be like his time to shine, his time to go. And it just wasn't to be. What's your initial reaction to Nick Chubb?
Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak, you know, and it's awful because that's now like the third big player. So you look at J.K. Dobbins, you look at Nick Chubb, Aaron Rodgers. That's 3 big players that a lot of people have spent draft capital on that have gone down by the end of week 2. You know what I mean? We've lost these 3 players. Now, we were saying about J.K. Dobbins about how that's probably going to be the end of his career. He's not going to do much, and he's at the end of his rookie contract and stuff like that. But Nick Chubb's 27. My mind will be blown.
Yeah.
If he plays another snap in the NFL, and that's heartbreak because this is what he spent his life building towards, and he's had a good career in the NFL, and he's earned a lot of money, but it's just heartbreak for him to go out that way, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You just really feel for the guy, and yeah, it looked horrendous. And I mean, by the time he's back, he'll be what, 28 with 2 really bad knee injuries under him, and who's really invested in a 28-year-old running back with injuries, right?
He turns 28 in December, so he'll be 28, nearly 29. You know, if he's out for 12 months, we're talking not far off his 29th birthday by the time he's back.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, there are obviously anomalies out there, people that can do it for longer. Nick Chubb is, you know, a physical freak. Like he might be one of these guys that comes back and, you know, turns the clock back and looks okay. If anyone can do it, it might be Nick Chubb. But just all odds say, just like we spoke about J.K. Dobbins, you know, after week 1, all odds point to this isn't looking good for Nick Chubb, unfortunately. Do you get hit with many teams with Nick Chubb on it at all?
I've got a couple, not as many as like J.K. Dobbins was more an effect to my teams than Nick Chubb. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think me and you were quite similar as we drafted a lot of these teams this year that were wide receiver heavy, then faded the running back and then going for somebody like J.K. Dobbins. But Nick Chubb, I've got him in a few places, and you know, it is a worrying fact. But I wouldn't say any of the teams that I've got him in. I've not started the season in a dominant position. Let's put it that way then. So the Nick Chubb injury hasn't affected me that much.
Yeah. I think there's definitely people, and this is kind of moving into topic number 2. There will be people out there that, at the start of the year, they're looking at the running back room and maybe their quarterback room, and they're thinking, I'm set. I'm good to go. I've got Jonathan Taylor. I've got Nick Chubb. I've got J.K. Dobbins. Real strong running back room. Maybe they've got Aaron Rodgers in the quarterback room. Like, what do you do, like, as a general rule for your dynasty teams? If you just get hit hard with the injury bug or with suspensions or with other things, like, do you just try to push on if you're a contender? Do you try and just buy some more pieces and keep going? Or do you just kind of push it and kick the can down the road for next year?
So if I was in that position, where I had Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, JT, and say Aaron Rodgers, I would definitely I'd definitely be looking at finishing sort of this season and going, do you know what? I'm not really going to do anything. I know Jonathan Taylor will play again, but the other two not so much. So Jonathan Taylor will play. He will play this year. His contract says he has to play this year. But I think I would look at it and go, do you know what? Nick Chubb's not going to play for me again. J.K. Dobbins is not going to play for me again. Them two, you put them basically off your team. You do a little review of your team, have a look at your roster. Are you doing well? Are you really strong at wide receiver? Are you sort of thinking maybe I could lose one of them pieces, maybe pick up some picks for next year? But I'd definitely be looking at blowing it up and going, do you know what? This year's dead to me now. I'm going to blow it all up, and I'm going to try and acquire some picks, try and build. Obviously, we all say you sell your best pieces and stuff like that. But if you've got, say, Garrett Wilson, CeeDee Lamb, and say Cooper Kupp on your team, you'd go, right, I'm happy to lose Cooper Kupp, but the other two you want to keep. Build on that wide receiver core. And I think what I've learned again this season is we're definitely still in that round of draft wide receivers. Dynasty builds a team around your wide receivers, and that goes to show we're literally sitting here talking about running backs that are out. I mean, and these were top 20 running backs, So what would you do? What would you do if you had all three of them? Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, and you had Cooper Kupp as your wide receiver and Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback.
Yeah, when you're hit with that many injuries, you kind of have to, I think, kick the can down the road a little bit. You could try and plug some gaps by getting in people like James Conner or Raheem Mostert, but when it comes to championship time, it's going to be so difficult to kind of get over the line with those players. You do need these stud running backs, and sometimes you're just unlucky. You have years like that, and you'll have teams like that where it just wasn't going to be your year. So you may as well, look to rebuild that running back room. Luckily, running back rooms are the easiest rooms to rebuild because of the rookies coming in are usually pretty good, hit the ground running a lot faster than other positions traditionally do. So it might be that you offload a little bit, try and rebuild that running back room, and hopefully you get a bit of, luck that you never did this year. And Paul, do you have any advice to give on, we got our first question of the show. Any advice to give on this from Ali Cook, who you might know as FF Dynasty Grill? Ask Paul how his FFCC went. Paul, anything to say about that?
Ali, I hope it's raining in Greece. I hope it's raining. So, right, okay. So the people that don't know, the FFC is the Fantasy Football Champions Cup. It's run by the 5 Yard people over at the 5 Yard, and basically they've got, I can't remember the number, 296 people or something like that. There's loads of people, and you play people over a 2-week score. Now, me and Ali were in the same division, so we played each other in the first 2 weeks. Now, week 1, Ali scored 205 points, and I was the 4th highest scorer in week 1, and put up 197. And then week 2, Ali went and smashed it with another 198, and I put up 159. So I lost to Ali. It's a bit of heartbreak, because there's people in the league that I would have beat, but I just came up against a formidable opponent. He just went and got the job done. So Ali, well done, mate. You are much better than me at fantasy football.
Yes, congratulations, Ali. There,
maybe we should get Ali on here next week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Right, absolutely. Well, we'll move on now to our next segment. We have a few more questions, so if you are one of those people who ask a question, please stay tuned. We will get to them when we get to the hot questions segment, which is the one coming up right after this. The next segment we have, though, Paul, is just do you have a general smash start for this week and a general I don't want to play this guy, I want to stay away from this week? I've got one. I'm happy to go first if you want on this one because my one is sort of topical right now. I'll start off with my start. The one I'm looking for is kind of based off of how well Jordan Love is looked. But if Christian Watson's fit, I'm smashing Christian Watson into my lineups this week. I think that with the young kind of talent around him and the unproven talent around Jordan Love at the minute, putting someone like a Christian Watson who really came on last year into your lineups, I think he could be playing really well, really fast with Jordan Love, who's looked great so far. Good for Jordan Love. Really, really happy for him. Do you have a smash start for this week?
Yeah, so mine is, and I probably shouldn't do it, but mine is from tonight's game. And that's Brandon Ayuk. Now, the Giants conceded 28 points to the Arizona Cardinals. How? I'll never know, okay? But that's a different story. But the Giants are conceding points. They've conceded a lot of points in the start of this season. They don't look great on defense or anything like that. So to me, if Ayuk's healthy and playing, he's my guy this week. Smash him.
Yeah, absolutely love that. And it's kind of a rotation going right in that 49ers offense could be Debo, could be Ayuk, since go week in, week out, which is, great for Brock Purdy for sure. And my kind of must sit of the week, I'm picking the guy that this is your very last chance to sell him. But for the love of God, do not try to start Cam Akers this week because people are going to do it. And I know this is a huge matchup and there's going to be lots of points played. But Cam Akers just got beaten out by Kyron Williams. How good do you think he's really going to be? This kind of is similar to when, do you remember James Robinson was traded to the Jets and everyone got excited about James Robinson coming in because he did well at the Jags, but then he got that big injury, the Achilles injury, the exact same one. He gets traded to the Jets and everyone thinks this could be wheels up for Robinson. He's not really. He's up against Donovan Knight. He's up against these guys while Breece Hall's out, and he did absolutely nothing. I wouldn't be shocked if this Cam Akers trade is pretty similar. You still see Alexander Mattison, dare I say, Dwayne McBride get involved. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. So there was a chat in the Sanctuary Discord this morning, and Tom Stracker put in this photo, and I love it because it actually sums up Cam Akers. It's equally, if not more likely, that Cam Akers doesn't finish the season on the Vikings than he is to take over as RB1 there. Okay, if he was on Sean McVay's shit list for not fitting team culture, he's already on a short leash with Sean's buddy Kevin O'Connell, who used to be the offensive coordinator at the Rams. So I think that sums up Cam Akers for me. I think he's either going to be phenomenal there or he's going to be absolutely nothing, and I'm leaning more towards he's not going to be anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll move on to our. Oh no, you got your sit. Sorry, Paul. I'm trying to.
So
who's your big sit of the week?
I'm going for a similar sort of vibe as you, and I think people are going to go down this road. And I'm going to go for Jerome Ford, the running back from the Cleveland Browns, who obviously has now stepped into that number one role. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be great for the rest of the season or anything like that. But this week they come up against the Titans. And as we've seen from the previous weeks, the Titans are really good at stopping the run game. And I just don't think Nick Chubb, you'd have started because you'd expect him to get some form of points. But Ford, I think I'm a little bit worried about him this week as he's playing such a good team against the run game. So I'd be a little bit dubious about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that actually links in quite nicely to our hot question segment, because we have a question from one of our viewers, Blurpy. Hope I'm saying that right. He said he's wanting us to pick 2 players in PPR for this: James Conner, Joshua Kelly, assuming Eckler is out, and Rashad White. And he did give that caveat. He knew Kelly was bad last week, but it was, as you said, against a pretty stern Titans defense. So if you have to choose 2 of those to play next week, Conner, Kelly, assuming Eckler's injured, and Rashad White, who are you picking to play, and who and why?
So I'm going with, Joshua Kelly is the easy one for me because they play the Vikings.
Yep.
The other two are really difficult because James Conner's up against the Cowboys, which we've seen is a formidable force this year, and Rashad White's up against the Eagles. Now, I think I'd lean Rashad White because the Eagles are actually conceding points, whereas I think Micah Parsons and the Cowboys are going to have an absolute feast this week with Joshua Dobbs. I think he may retire this weekend. Okay, I think he may retire. I think once laxative gets hold of him, he's going to retire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are the Cardinals at home or away for that? By the way,
I can't remember.
Well, wherever it is, get your investments in the local, hospitals around the area wherever they're playing, because Joshua Dobbs is gonna need one. For me, I'm leaning Joshua Kelly as well because of that matchup. I mean, it's just going to be points galore, right? And I'm actually going to go James Conner just because if I'm ever 50-50, I usually just pick the better player. I think James Conner is a better player than Rashad White, who, he's been doing okay, but his yards per carry is still pretty suspect. But there's always time to improve, and the Bucs have been playing well. And next up, we have 2 questions from the same person we've got before we get into ours. This one, actually, this was very, very nearly my hot question to you of the week, Paul, because it is a viral question going around right now. How often do you think of the Roman Empire, Paul?
So maybe I'm not so hot on social media, but I've not seen this question anywhere.
Oh no!
Is it a trick question or?
No, this is a very trendy question right now. People being asked it. Apparently, men in general think about the Roman Empire quite a lot. Are you one of those men?
No.
No. When's the last time you thought about the Roman Empire?
Well, I don't know. When I was in Greece.
Fair
when we were talking about Greeks and Romans and everything like that. That was about it. I'm not one for the Roman Empire.
I think about it quite a lot. I don't know why. I just every now and again.
You're a nerd.
Yeah, nerd. Shut up, nerd. Right. Let's. But yeah, I think about the Roman Empire quite a lot, and of course the fantasy wildcard team. Absolutely agreeing with Ali's question there. Or that might be Ali logging into that account and disagreeing with him. So who knows? Who knows? He might be doing that.
I think he's thinking of one of the other questions.
Yeah, and we got 2 more here as well in Dynasty. Who are you picking? Justin Fields or CJ Stroud? Now, it is obviously tough whenever you are trading a running back for a quarterback here, but try and do it anyway.
This is an awful question, Ali. So, do you know what? I think they're both similar for me, and I think I'd need to see. I don't think I'd do it straight up. I don't think I could pick between them right now.
Yeah.
I think I'd need to see a few more games. If life on the line had to make this pick, I think I'd take CJ Stroud at the moment. And that's only because I worry for the Bears and how bad the Bears have looked, that if they are in a position where they can draft a QB next year, I think they pull that trigger. And that's because the team that are there now didn't draft Justin Fields. So they've got no affiliation to him. I think if they're in position where they've got a good QB on the block, a good QB that they could pick up, I think they take one.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've been kind of beating this drum for a while. The Bears absolutely suck. The Bears were the worst team in the NFL last year. I mean, me and you obviously did a show last year, the Fantasy Wildcard Rewind, where at the very start of the year, I said the Bears are going to be the worst team in football because look at that. They're not very good at all. And I don't know why people thought adding DJ Moore and a couple of rookies was going to change that, because it absolutely was not. They still are a terrible team. Justin Fields while he may have been good for fantasy last year, he was a terrible quarterback last year. Let's be real. He didn't win many games for his team, and he's not winning many games for his team now. So very quickly, he could end up being a quarterback on his second team, which, sometimes works out like Kirk Cousins does, but most of the time it doesn't work out. I'm quietly leaning CJ Stroud, but I think you could get CJ Stroud plus for Justin Fields. How about that? I think you could definitely go out and do that. And if you can, I think I'd be happy to go and do that. And the Bears could be someone who end up winning the sweepstakes for Caleb Williams. And Ollie's saying, can we all sign a petition to stop Caleb Williams landing on the Cardinal? I mean, would he even beat out Josh Dobbs? I mean, you see that guy rushing the ball. How's Caleb even going to get in the team?
Do you know what? Josh Dobbs looked awkward when he was running. There's that video of the bird's eye view of Bijan running, and he just cuts and just sends people the wrong way. You watch that, and then you watch Josh Dobbs run, and you were like, man, he is so bad. He's so bad. But I think there was a glitch in the matrix. How we put 28 points up and all of this. I think there was a glitch in the matrix. But no, Ali, we're not going to start a petition for the Cardinals to stop Caleb Williams landing there, because he's going to come there and you can have Kyler Murray.
Yeah, we got two more questions actually, Paul. Quite quickly with the questions, which is great. One of the benefits of being live. We've got Randy Miller here. He's saying, would you trade, like, how straight up would you go here for, if you win now, even in Dynasty, would you give up someone like a Christian Watson to get a starting running back like Kyren Williams? If, you were maybe in that scenario where you just lost Nick Chubb, is that something you'd be willing to go towards? I think he's even mentioned throwing in a third as well, which I doubt you would need.
Do you know what? I don't know. No, I don't think I would. I think I would make that move because... to be honest, you're better to answer this question than I am, Max, because you're a big fan of Christian Watson. At the moment, we don't know what Christian Watson could be. He could, if he comes back this week and he is as good as we think he can be, he could be a top 20 wide receiver. You know what I mean? If he is a top 20 wide receiver, would you want to trade that away for somebody that's, not, Kyren Williams wasn't somebody we were talking about coming into this season. So to me, he's proving to be a good running back, but he's not somebody that you're going to go out and target and stuff like that. I think if you're trying to get Kyren Williams, don't offer Christian Watson on a third now. Wait till after the weekend. If you're looking to get rid of Christian Watson, if Christian Watson does well this weekend, then you're not going to need to throw that third in there. You could probably add a third to Kyren Williams to get Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I wouldn't be getting rid of Watson just because I'm a big Watson kind of truther. He was, like my guy, coming into the draft that year, even coming out of like a smaller school. I just think that he's destined for, really solid fantasy numbers going forward. And Kyren Williams, I don't know, something about the Rams moving Cam Akers on suggests to me, are they bringing somebody in? Like, are we about to see Leonard Fournette appear in a Rams jersey? Are we about to see one of these older veterans appear, or a trade of something? The Rams love trading, as we know. I just think someone might be appearing soon. So I'd maybe pump the brakes on that for now. I think that's great advice, Paul. Just wait and see what's going to happen with Christian Watson, and then also wait and see what's going to happen with Kyren Williams too. We've got loads of questions. This is fantastic, Paul. I'm absolutely loving this. We got Fantasy Wildcard. Wow, those guys are great. They're asking, which NFL quarterback would you like to have a session on the beers with? So it's definitely got to be a quarterback. Who's standing out to you for that? I mean, if Ben Roethlisberger was still playing, he'd be a good lad to go out on the beers with, probably, right? Looks like he could sink a few pints. But anybody standing out for you?
So Ben Roethlisberger is definitely the guy that walks to the bar and goes, Guinness.
Yeah.
Guinness.
Absolutely. Yes.
Guinness. All day long, just Guinness. 4 o'clock in the morning, he's like, Guinness.
Man after my own heart. Absolutely.
So, who would I want to go on the piss with? Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
Because
Talk to me why.
I think he's just like a magnet to women, and I think they just spend all night just going, oh, and you just be like, yeah, me and him have got the same hairdo, you know, we got the same hairstylist.
Yeah, that's a good pick actually.
I can tell you who I don't want to go on the piss with.
Is his name Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson. 100% Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson, we're going to end up in jail, and Tua Tagovailoa, we're going to end up knocked out somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So let's avoid those two. So who would like to go for a beer? Anyone not called Deshaun Watson sounds pretty good.
Or Kirk Cousins, because after watching quarterback, he seems like he's a very religious and stable man. Like, you know, he's I'll have a shandy, please.
Yeah, he's going out for root beers instead of beer. So yeah, we'll avoid them. We've got some more questions from Dylan. Dylan, thank you for tuning in. He's saying he's just traded. Oh, look, I'm like disappearing. I need to like sit up above the question. Just traded Mostert for Ayuk in my 12-team full PPR. Good trade. My running backs are Pollard and James Cook. Wide receiver depth is now Diggs, Hopkins, Ayuk, Michael Thomas, Hollywood Brown. Thinking to combine two of them for a better wide receiver too. I think that's a slam dunk, Paul. What do you think?
I love it. Yeah. If you were going to get rid of two, I would say Hollywood Brown and Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I think capitalize.
They would be the two that I'd be willing to get rid of.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think that's a slam. Most of for Ayuk's looking like a budding superstar. So Dylan, I think you absolutely smashed it there.
That's a great trade. That's a great trade to turn Mostert into Ayuk. Mostert's not gonna be much for much longer. You know, if I don't think he'll be anything next year where Ayuk will be. He's got 3, 4, 5 more years left in the NFL. So I think that's an absolutely amazing trade. Can I play in any? Can I play in any of your leagues?
Yeah,
I wish somebody would trade that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, Paul, it's time for other listener questions. It's time for your hot question to me for the week, and then I've got to share my screen for mine, so I'll save that for a bit.
Oh God, it's not going to be a centaur question again.
No, it's not about centaurs this week.
So I wanted to ask you how you felt. Did you? So this is not so much a question about fantasy or anything. It's about you personally.
Okay.
How did you feel when you saw Micah Parsons and Sauce Gardner exchanging shirts? Was that like a wet dream for you? Because we know that you're a massive fan of both, and you see them both there. Were you like, oh, my boys?
Yeah, it was just the best. Like, two of my favorite players in the NFL. We spoke about them a lot on the Rewind show last year. We talked about, Sauce's boss. And of course, I've not seen this name catch on. If you're watching live right now, you need to spread this, because Micah Parsons' nickname should be the Laxative, because he makes people shit themselves. Like, it's absolutely perfect, right? The Laxative, Micah Parsons, get that spreading around if he's not started doing that already.
Did you see, was it week 1 when Aaron Donald was running towards Geno Smith? And they've got him mic'd up, and he just sees him. He's like, "Oh God damn!"
Like he just seen a bear. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I absolutely loved Real, recognizing Real with those two. Love Sauce Gardner's little handshake with Aaron Rodgers, short-lived as it was. Love that as well. Just absolutely loved it for sure. And Paul, I'm going to have to quickly share my screen with you, just so.
God help.
Just so I can show you.
This, Max, don't do that to me.
Paul, what color is that dress? Can you tell me?
Gold and white.
So I knew you were going to say this as well. I see this dress as blue and black. I don't know if people in the comments.
You don't.
I do. If you're watching right now, put in the comments what color.
You're one of these pricks that goes, "Oh yeah, that's blue and black," just because I want to be argumentative. You see it and it's gold and white. Okay, it's gold and white, 100%.
Absolutely. The actual real dress is blue and black. They took it from the other angle. The real color of the dress is blue and black. It's kind of like a like almost a purplish hue in the blue as well. It's so lovely.
Max, you're such an argumentative bastard.
I was going to say the opposite of you anyway. Yeah, like
mate, I could have said that was yellow and green, and you'd have gone, oh yeah, it's gold and white. And
hold on, look, blue and black, my man. Dylan, right?
Dylan, okay, you were up here with your trade. You've just gone down now. Blue and black.
So it's 100% blue and black. And Dylan's actually got one more question for us before we move on to the sizzle reel, which I can't wait to get to. It's like it's just asked us, are you like a fan of handcuffs? He's got Spears, he's got Elijah Mitchell, and as a non-CMC or Derrick Henry owner, and then he's got ETN owners just drop Bigsby, benching Khalil Herbert, Hollywood, MT. Yeah. Would you drop any of those guys to pick up Tank Bigsby? Some of those wide receivers that he talked about. I think if this is a dynasty league, I think Tank Bigsby is 100% worth picking up. I don't know if I would drop any of those guys though. That's the interesting bit. Hopefully you've got room on a taxi squad if it is a dynasty league.
So I'm trying to see here. So do you guys like handcuffs? Is he saying he's got Tajay Spears and Elijah Mitchell? Because if you've got both of them, I'd drop Elijah Mitchell for Tank Bigsby straight away.
Yeah. Or try and sell them to whoever owns Christian McCaffrey, right? Because if I own Christian McCaffrey, I'm wanting a piece of Elijah Mitchell. If I own Derrick Henry, I want 100% want Tajay Spears, because Tajay Spears is playing about as much as Derrick Henry.
He's flying. He's flying. I've got big hopes for Tank Bigsby as well. Tank Dell, I wouldn't drop. I like Tank Dell. I think he's somebody that I'd like to keep. But if how many spots you got on your bench? Because that's quite a small bench, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. That's quite small for a dynasty league. I'd be getting onto your commish going, can we up that to 10 at least?
Absolutely. And if it's redraft, I might not pick him up. I might not drop any of those players.
Yeah, redraft. I wouldn't. He wouldn't do much for you.
Yeah, but yeah, you got a few options there for sure, Dylan. And
but I do like handcuffs though. I am quite a fan of the handcuffs. That's why I prefer a bigger bench, because you've got more handcuffs. You can load up on running backs, and then when the inevitable happens where running backs get injured, like this, for example, if a lot of leagues have got Jerome Ford wasn't even on waiver wires in my dynasty leagues because he was held by people. You know what I mean? So love a handcuff. Right, let's sizzle. Let's sizzle, baby.
It's time for my favorite part of the show, right? And hopefully yours as well watching. It's time for my sizzle reel of some things that I want to get Paul's reaction for the week. So let's go ahead and pull up. Let's get rid of that dress. We don't need that.
White and gold. White and gold.
One of the most viral clips of the week, Paul. I mean, look at this. Bijan Robinson. Have you seen this?
This is the one I mentioned earlier when it was like the bird's eye view of Bijan. It's insane.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I hope we get more of this going forward, right? They did one last week. There was one for Caleb Williams in college football, this kind of style as well. I'm loving this. You want to see more of this from the NFL?
Yeah. I do, to be fair. I do.
Yeah, if only there was one for that Josh Dobbs run, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't look anything like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And my favorite clip though from this week. This might be the best thing. I want this from as many angles as possible. Bill Belichick waiting to look the referee in the eyes and throwing that flag. Just so annoyed. How often do you think he does that a day with like different objects around the house?
Do you reckon he does it with his wife? When his wife like cooks him tea and he doesn't want it, and he just looks when she's finished loading the dishwasher, just picks up like a fillet of fish or something, just looks at her and just throws it on the floor.
Yeah, that's an experience, but he's done that before with many things, not just the challenge. Love it. He keeps it in his sock as well. The challenge flag, absolutely great from old Bill there. Love it, absolute boy. Another clip. I mean, you will have seen this, obviously. One of the strangest, weirdest ends to a game ever. Russ throws the ball up. We get a double doink and a Hail Mary of all Hail Marys. Then, of course, Denver have to go for 2 and don't get it, which is unbelievable. What do you think about this? Whenever you've seen it,
this was amazing. To be fair, I love a finish like this, and so, do you know what? So many teams don't do this.
Yeah.
When you know, I know obviously there's that is Russell Wilson's arm talent right there. He's put it in the mixer. And it's happened, but the amount of teams are seeing this opportunity where they're like, you need to just launch it downfield and don't do it, or really badly have a go at it,
or try to screen pass or something, right?
Yeah, you've seen it where they've gone, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to run it from here, and it's like it's not going to work. Put it in the mixer. Let's go. This was amazing. I felt for Denver because they didn't get their 2 points, did they? So
yeah, I was looking forward to seeing that go in overtime, but this just wasn't to be. And what do you think about this move from George Pickens, who had a great game, but what is he doing here?
Do you know what? So I think he tried the hurdle, and the defender was obviously, no, you ain't hurdling me, mate. Not a chance. So
the best capture.
I think one of the sizzles that you put in a couple of weeks ago was people hurdling other players. And he obviously went for it thinking, oh, he's going to hit my legs. And he went for the hurdle, and the defender's gone, I'm not making the sizzle reel. You know what I mean? Not. You're not mugging me off. I'm mugging you off. So
yeah, absolutely. And Pickens laughing it off there at the end. I see the best with that I've seen is someone thought Pickens was playing Madden and hit triangle by accident. It kind of looks like that. He just jumps like for no reason. Right?
Yeah, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of
that. What the hell is Justin Herbert doing here?
I need to be careful how I answer this because he's in America and he's doing gun symbols. Like,
he is, yes. Yeah. I think is he telling the coach what he thinks of his offensive line? Maybe. That's the draft strategy for them. I assume it's shotgun formation, right? That's got to be it.
I'd like to hope so, but he shoots 3 times, so
he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing well with a shotgun like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see this? College football, of course, you see lots of plays and lots of different things that eventually might end up in the NFL. Do you think this play call is going to end up in the NFL one day soon? Let's have a look. Oh,
oh, wow.
What do you think?
No.
What's that? Is that shotgun as well, or what? What does that mean?
That's a 3 squeeze on the balls. 3 squeeze on the balls.
3 squeeze, yeah. 3 squeeze formation.
3 squeeze.
Wow.
His wife must be so proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure Jordan Love's wife is proud after this. Look at talked about which quarterback you want to go for a few beers with. Not Jordan Love. Look at that. The guy can't handle his beer at all.
in our group, he's definitely the one that you're putting to bed at 10 o'clock at night, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's having a shandy with Kirk Cousins and going home.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins is going to score, make sure he gets home safe because the rest of us are like, you get yourself in this mess, you get yourself home. Kirk Cousins is like, I'll take you, Jordan.
Exactly. Yeah, good guy, Kirk Cousins. Absolutely. And you see one of the best hits from the week coming from college football. Look at this LSU running back absolutely slam into a guy from Mississippi State.
So I've got a question for you now. If you're the defender there, you get hit like that. How do you act with that? Do you walk off thinking, "Oh my God, I've just been mugged off," or do you walk off and go, "It ain't happening again. Next time, I'm going through his soul."
Yeah, I mean, do you go full Minka Fitzpatrick on the next play and get ultimate revenge, or do you
what's it called, longest yard, and run up and just 2-footed tackle him in the face?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that seems like a crossroads in that young man's career, right? He's got to be thinking, oh, maybe I should just stay in school.
Maybe my mum was right. I should have done ballet.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how far he's going to make it, but he's going to remember that hit for a long time. That's for sure. Paul, you remember last week we had your favorite clip on the show. Look at this dog, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely amazing. But little did we know, Paul, we have a famous fan of the show because this guy must have been watching us last week. Look at Travis Kelce doing his best impression.
Mate, have you seen the... So Travis and Jason do a podcast, don't they? New Heights.
Yeah.
Did you see this? Because they did this and he went, "Oh, we've got an update on your knee." And Jason Kelce was saying, "Oh, you run out and you seen all the camera people and held your knee so they would all be like focused on you." And then you did this dance on purpose. And I love him. I love him.
It was so funny. And he
great.
obviously got this idea from watching the Dynasty Hotseat.
Yeah, he was. Shout out to Travis.
Yes, Travis. Thank you so much for watching.
And Jason, because he obviously watches as well,
Yes. And of course, our friend, the little dog. Absolutely love him, right? Speaking of Travis Kelce, this was live footage of Dynasty owners putting Travis Kelce back into their lineup after week 1.
Oh, mate. Oh, yeah. It's right. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone, every time I've got him, he's just gone in, and I genuinely felt like this.
Yeah, absolutely. He's such a difference maker. Love to see Travis back. And Paul, you've got a choice of 2 here. Are you ready? Are you choosing option A or option B? Option A, 2 quarterbacks. You got 59.8% completion rate. You've got 4,539 passing yards. You've got 1,625 rushing yards. You got 37 combined touchdowns. You got a passer rating of 78.8 and 32 turnovers. Or in the same amount of games, you could have a quarterback with 63.2% completion, 5,844 passing yards, 680 rushing yards, 38 combined touchdowns, much better pass rated, 68.6 or 86.3, and only 26 turnovers per 32. Present A or B?
This is going to be a trick question, this isn't it? And I'm trying to figure out what's what. So I'm going to say B's the favoured one, and that's going to be the trick. So I'm going to see through your trick, and I'm going to go for A.
Are you sure you want to pick A? Would you pick A if this was presented to you?
Yes. A. Final answer, yeah.
You would pick A. Would you like to see...
Yeah, because this is a fucking trick question, and I'm going to get burnt no matter what I say.
Would you like to see who you missed out on?
Yeah.
Well, behind door number A...
Door number A?
Door number A, very good, yes. Door number 1, we had Justin Fields. Behind door number 2, we had this guy, Mitchell Trubisky.
Told you it was a trick question.
Through 27 career starts, those are their stats. Mitchell Trubisky, much better completion rate, much more passing yards, more touchdowns, better passing rating, less turnovers.
So my issue with this kind of thing, okay, you can make any stat favor what you want it to favor. Now, scroll back up so I can see the numbers again. Okay,
they're pretty.
So they've gone for the passing yards, and they've gone, his completion's better, his passing yards is higher, his combined touchdowns. You know what I mean? Stuff like this. But they're not actually going. They've not actually looked into the fact that he's got 1,000 more rushing yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've not gone, how many yards per carry is he getting? How many this is he getting? How many that? So they've gone for the ones that favor Mitch Trubisky and made him look better. Now,
which is funny.
So let me ask you this, Mags. You are the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes has had to have his leg amputated. Okay, he's done. End of. You've got to pick Mitch Trubisky, or Justin Fields.
Look, if you remember,
and you've got all the numbers in front of you.
Patrick Mahomes went off against the Jacksonville Jaguars for people to look at his ankle, and Chad Henne drove the ball 97 yards down the field and scored a touchdown. Chad Henne did that because he's a decent passer. I'll take the guy who's a decent passer above the guy who's a decent rusher in that Chiefs offense. I'm taking Mitch Trubisky over Justin Fields to fill in for Patrick Mahomes for a year. Absolutely.
Oh no, forever.
Forever? Oh, forever give me Justin Fields, I suppose. And hopefully Andy Reid can coach him up, right? For a 1 year thing, I would take Mitch. Forever, you'd take Justin Fields, right?
Okay, another question, because I like these questions. So you're going to take the better passer over the better rusher. So Pat Mahomes has just been carted off. You can have anyone. So Lamar Jackson or Kirk Cousins?
For again 1 year or
for to step in as quarterback at the Chiefs this season.
This season. Well, I think the difference between passer, like Lamar's a much better passer. Much better passer. So I would take Lamar in that game.
But I'd say Kirk
Justin Fields is a horrible passer.
Kirk Cousins is a better passer than Lamar Jackson.
100%. Yeah.
So
100%.
so when it's Justin Fields, you'll take the better passer, but when it's Lamar Jackson, you'll take the better rusher, just because Lamar can pass better.
Well, I think Fields is a bad passer. I don't think Lamar is a bad passer. I think Fields is actively bad at it, whereas Lamar isn't as good as it. I think that's the line I'm kind of treading with that, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
But either way, can we please stop talking about Patrick Mahomes breaking his leg and getting injured? This is not a very nice topic at all, Paul.
Oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good.
Let's have a look at what we got next. Did you see this? This is footage from Cowboy Stadium, right, for their opening game. Look at this.
It's insane, isn't it?
That's awesome, right?
But see, the way that you'd look at that is like a Black Friday sale.
It does look like that, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? Where do these people run into?
Their designated seats, right?
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Your seats are there. These seats. See, you see these people that are just like nonchalantly just strolling through the middle of it. I'd be one of them because I'm like, look, you're gonna get food. Your seats are saved. What's the rush?
I have two favorite parts. Do you want to see them?
Okay.
Right. One. Have a look here at this guy. Look, coming up. Number 11. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, fantastic. Also, this lady runs in to queue up to go to the shop. Absolutely brilliant.
See what I mean? You've run into queue. Like,
You've queued to run to queue again and go into the official Dallas shop. I mean, these guys, I mean, you know, Cowboys fans have a bit of a reputation, maybe for a good reason. Anyway, do you see this tweet from Breece Hall that went out after their game?
No.
The 4 represents the 4 times Breece Hall touched the ball for the Jets in their last game.
That's going to change.
I mean, you'd think you've got Zach Wilson, just give the ball to Breece Hall, right? But yeah, he has since deleted that tweet. And I don't know, Robert Saleh doesn't seem like the guy that messes around a lot. Breece Hall might be in the bad books here, but they've got to use Breece Hall. Surely they can't rely on Zach Wilson.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So
they're in a bit of a mess. I think their heads are a bit all over the place, and they're just trying to figure things out. They'll sort themselves out, and they'll get back on track.
Yeah, I think so as well. And this is actually footage of we got Robert Saleh here, and poor Aaron Rodgers, and this is Robert Saleh getting Aaron Rodgers back into the lineup. Look at this. Just get him out there. What do you think?
Oh, man. That's Andy Reid pushing Pat Mahomes into work on Monday.
After you've broken both his legs.
Yeah, after I've crucified him, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Next on the film, this is live footage actually of, we know Aaron Jones started last week. This is AJ Dillon trying to get 1 yard for the, oh dear.
He was so bad.
AJ Dillon living up to just doing AJ Dillon things, right? Absolutely.
And the worst thing is I faded, I unplanted my flag on Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
this summer, thinking that AJ Dillon could do something, and then Aaron Jones is missing a game, and you think, right, AJ, this is your opportunity, this is your moment, and that's what he did.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And we got a few more. Let's move away from the NFL and off to the golf course. Paul, what do you think about this driving technique?
Would you do that? Would you do that with me?
No, I mean,
I could take the shot.
I'd be the one swinging.
No, I think we let's right. We'll meet up. What's halfway for us, Carlisle, and we'll go and play golf. 4 hours each way. We'll go and play golf, and we're doing this.
Yeah, I think we'll have to find a council course for that one. I don't think we're getting let in anywhere nice for that.
I'm quite close to the Belfry. If you want to come down here.
Yeah, let's just go do it. That'll be the first time anyone's done it there. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
What do you think this guy's strategy is here? Is what's this guy trying to do? Trying to crush this can, and oh dear, that's not going very well at all for him, is it?
Do you know, that's definitely a school kid, okay? And the mind boggles sometimes. What were you thinking? Oh, I'll throw this can here.
Yeah, that's how some people's week 2 went for their fantasy teams, right? Just right? Good intentions, but hasn't gone down well. And sometimes in the UK it gets a bit warm, right? How about this guy? Going to sit by the river, and oh dear, it just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? It's like all Jets fans.
This is me in the Fantasy Wildcard League when I took over an orphan that was trash. That's me trying to sort something out with it.
Yeah, that's poor Paul there. Absolutely. I got 1, 2. I got 5 more for you, Paul. Here we got. Hey, look at this goal. Look, what's this? A catapult. Look, this is all of those. One of those Edge Dillon shares you had about to launch them to the moon. And oh dear,
man.
That's not going well at all.
No.
Edge Dillon there for you. Second appearance on the show. Good for him. We have actual footage from Paul Picken's wedding, everybody. Have a look at this. Look at these dance moves.
Mags.
Hey,
Mags, you've seen my dance moves. They're better than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's just that's an imposter.
No, not quite as good as our good friend Matt, but
no,
they're up there.
Yes, they're definitely better than this guy.
I think Matt's dance move needs to make the sizzle reel.
I think it should eventually. Will maybe have to ask him before releasing it.
Yeah.
This is actually, speaking of when we met up in London. This was me and Paul before we went out for our night out in London. Look at this. Look at all the fun we're having.
Do you know what? That's me finding out that you've gone to the wrong address and you're 7 miles away. Just being smacked in the face.
Look, taking turns to. Yeah, look at that. That's how you trained to get into the NFL about 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got one more for you as well, Paul. Here, look at this. You think this could be a solution for your bald problems?
No.
Surgically implanting gold chains?
No.
Not a look you're going for. What about the gold teeth?
I'm not one for a bit of drip,
No, not all. So that's a shame. I thought we were going to see that for next week's show. That's a shame. And that's all the scissors I got for you, Paul. What do you think?
Amazing. I love the fact that you spend your nights, apart from Sunday night where you're watching NFL, scrolling through social media, trying to find funny videos to make it on the sizzle reel.
It's great fun. I've got a system now. I've got a good system.
We will speak to good friend of ours, Matt, and see if we can get his dance moves on here.
That would be pretty cool.
That'll be mega.
I think that will be fun, and thank you. This was a great success. I think. I mean, we went a bit longer than expected, perhaps, but that's because we got so many fan questions. It was great chatting away to people in the comment section. So thanks to Dylan for asking so many questions. Thanks to Randy as well, and of course, Blurpy, I think is who he's called as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Ali and the other guys from the wild card team. Absolute privilege as always. And Paul, thank you so much to you. Do you want to tell folks where they can find you online before we head off?
Find me on X at Paul_Picking, and you can catch me on a Monday night doing the Wildcard Rewind show with Hannah and Lewis. Yep. We're back to a trio this week, and then catch me next week with you again.
Yeah, live.
Boys are boys, you know.
Boys will be boys, absolutely. So thank you everybody joining in, and remember, for anything Dynasty you want to know, keep it locked right here on the Certified Inferno. I will see you next week.